This video has been prepared by Blind Citizens Australia and Disability Voices Tasmania. Audio description spoken by Vaughan Bennison. Text appears. On Saturday the 4th of May, representatives of the blind community came together in Hobart to cast their vote for the 2024 Legislative Council election in Hobart, Elwick and Prosser. What they encountered were failures in voting technology, untrained staff and an inability to exercise their right to a secret, independent and verifiable vote. For many years, Blind Citizens Australia, Disability Voices Tasmania and individuals with print disability and their allies have been advocating to the Tasmanian Electoral Commission, TEC, about the need for significant but basic improvements to the voting mechanisms available to Tasmanians with disability, and in particular print disability. Standing outside Hobart City Hall in front of a blue sign that says Polling Place. Emma Bennison, Electorate of Hobart.
You know, there weren't really many staff around to assist from the foyer to actually get into the room where the voting's taking place. So quite challenging.
Vanessa Ransley, Electorate of Elwick.
The person at the door didn't actually know how the visually impaired voting system works, so it was waiting to find someone who did, and then she asked me to come over here and just sort of walked off. She didn't know that she had to use words to explain where I needed to go, things like right, left, forward. I'm glad that it was only a short list of candidates for this particular election. It would be horrendous if there were 30 candidates trying to work out, who you given what preference to in that situation. When there are people wanting to vote next, it would, it just would be a bit stressful.
Phil Menzies, Electorate of Elwick.
When I finally did get to vote, because the person wasn't sure of the machine, I ended up voting, I think, 3 times. Because the first time they had the wrong piece of paper in the machine, in the printer. The second time it didn't print at all. And the third time I did print. So I'm not sure which one actually ended up coming out. The person assisting me ended up reading what was on the piece of paper. So really, it wasn't a secret vote after all.
Duncan Meerding, Electorate of Hobart.
I've effectively had to cast my vote 3 times. Part of the issue was basically there's no paper in the printer.
When I finished voting today, my ballot got printed out and the Electoral Commission staff member said that she would just take a quick look at it to make sure that I had the right number of preferences. Now, I have absolutely no certainty that she didn't also see the way that I had voted. In fact, I'm almost certain that she couldn't not have seen the way I voted. And that is really disturbing to me. The whole hallmark of democracy is the ability to cast a secret, independent and verifiable vote.
Okay, so there was really only 4 candidates. It should have only taken me no more than probably 2-3 minutes. In the end, it took me probably 10-15 minutes.
It took a good 20 minutes for me to actually get to the voting.
Text. So what basic changes are necessary to ensure inclusion in the electoral process?
To have access to phone voting as a start. Other things I'd like to see would be more work done on the VI voting system, because to be honest, it's lacking. It's not a sufficient measure.
I think it would be so much better if we could have access to telephone voting. I mean, people living outside Tasmania can vote by telephone, and I see no good reason at all why we shouldn't be able to do the same. Not only would it be easier in the sense that we could do it from home, but we would also have much more assurance that our vote is secret. So I think voting by telephone would just make it so much more secure and so much more dignified. If there's ever an experience that reminds me of how disempowering being a disabled person can be, it's this one. So yeah, I think it would be great to have telephone voting.